Up above the world, so high like a diamond in the sky, Rubicon Point's lighthouse was the highest elevation lighthouse on a navigational body of water in the entire world. In 1960, the US Congress appropriated funds to construct navigational lamps at Lake Tahoe. The decision followed 3 years by request of the Lake Tahoe Protective Association. Construction of the Rubicon Point Lighthouse took place in 1919 under the direction of U.S. Department of Commerce, Bureau of Lighthouse Services. Rubicon Point, which is coming up ahead, was originally one of the 4 navigational lamps on Lake Tahoe. The light was built at a cost of $900, and it's pretty cheap. You can see the giant rocks, also a lot of volcanic activity. But anyways, a flashing 70 candle power light was visible for 7 miles. I have a 10 million candlelight power spotlight, so pretty dim. In 1920, upon the request of Lake Tahoe Railway and Transportation Company, along with other Tahoe mariners, the lighthouse service moved the lamp to Sugar Pine Point. The old Rubicon Lighthouse was abandoned, and this is the old one, what it looks like. This is what it looks like today. They obviously restored it a little because that's fresh wood. And it says D.L. Bliss State Park and its Rubicon Point Lighthouse were acquired by the state of California in 1929. Vandalism, graffiti, and exposure nearly destroyed this elegant old structure. In 2001, the Rubicon Point Lighthouse was stabilized to help preserve it for generations for future visitors. And that was to guide the boats. It's a massive lake. It's miles long. It's almost 1,700 feet deep. So you can see there's a lot of history, and I thought I would just stop. What, that goes... Oh, to the lighthouse.
Oh, look.
What? Oh. Don't go. You carry the plague. All right, I got to go, peeps. But there's a stairwell, and it goes down to the lighthouse. And we'll get on the Rubicon Trail and hike to Emerald Point. So we take on these steps. And we come around the corner. The lighthouse is visible. And then we can hike from the lighthouse to the Rubicon Trail. Like I say, this is not just, paranormal exploration. This is a historic, educational project we're working on, so we can help educate students about the Lake Tahoe area and the lighthouse and other little historic sites we might find. And we'll keep approaching it, see how it looks restored. A lot different than back in its day. But they have changed because they don't want you to go anywhere near the edge, or they don't want any more vandalism. It was vandalized very heavily back in its day. But here it is, the old lighthouse. Pretty cool. Just had a little light on top, 70 candlelight power, just so boats could find their way around Lake Tahoe. We'll be hiking actually south till we get to Emerald Point and Emerald Bay area. Anyways, we finally made it. We're off the Lighthouse Trail. We're almost on the Rubicon Trail, and we'll be hiking along the beach and the shores of Lake Tahoe. Look how crystal clear and blue the water is. It's just amazing. I wish the snow was still on the mountains. It usually is, but it was a mild winter. But Tammy pointed something out to me. She's highly intelligent. That's why I love her so much. But she's right. If you look at the lake, look in this video, you see the dark blue. How far? Oh, he's way too far. I can't see him. Oh, I got him. Anyways, she was pointing out the water is very deep where Lake Tahoe's bluest point meets. You could see a blue patch there and a blue patch there. I believe this is the area that gets 1,600 feet deep. If you look directly down, there is a cliff. Oh, there he flies off. There's a cliff that drops right off. A lot of cliffs. And there's also a place called Balance and Rock, which we'll go to. But I just want to make it a point that all along the shoreline, this shoreline that I'm panning across, is considered the underwater park. I guess there's a couple sunk ferries or boats and a lot of underwater. You might find a mining cart or remnants of a sawmill or some foundations. There's, because the lake has risen over the years. But it's all considered an underwater park. And you can scuba dive, and like I said, you got probably 16 to 20 feet of visibility. It's like scuba diving in the Bahamas. But I've been trying to film these Steller Jays. That's what's making that noise, if you can hear it. It's squaw, squaw, squaw. Because it's Steller Jays are in abundance in Lake Tahoe. And Tammy and I, we always see them around Lake Tahoe. I sometimes see them in Carson City, Gardnerville, in the high desert, but very rare that you'll see one that'll come down to the high desert. They like to stay near the lake. But anyways, we're at the old lighthouse, and you're looking at one of the deepest points in Lake Tahoe. Just to the north, the second deep spot you see is where our UFO came out of the water, was hovering, took off to space, and left these sparkly dancing lights below, maybe some residue. But this is a deep lake, 1,600, I believe, and 78 feet. And a lot of people have drowned and died in this lake. And rumors of lake monsters, UFOs, missing people, mafia tying cinder blocks to people's ankles and floating to the bottom of Tahoe, and murdering the Chinamen that worked at the sawmills. It's all very true. It's just, this can be a very tragic place or a very serene place. Anyways, this is your founder of Paranormal Ghost Society. They go up to your knees, come on.
They do, look.
Halfway up your shin. This is not the Nephilim stairwell or the giant stairwell or the city of giants they found in South America, where there's chairs made for like 20-foot tall giants. These stairs are nothing. Think of this as like the Stairmaster. You could even, if you get really tired, you could roll the suitcase up the steps. You could. Bust a couple wheels off, piss my son off.
No. It's not the suitcase, it's my knees. Oh, my knees.
Anyways, everyone, I got a couple cool photos of a Steller Jay. And I just shut my video camera off. It was those birds you heard in the background. One flew right towards me. 5 feet out, 6 feet out. Jumps to each branch, studying me. Face turning left and right, up and down. And he came closer and closer. I turned on my camera. Captured 2 great photos of him. One with the lake and mountains in the background, and one of them on the branch. So maybe I'll attach them in this video. Steller Jay, like I say, are the dominant bird species in the Tahoe Basin. The fish can grow. I mean, I've heard of people catching 60-pounders. Different species, mainly trout, salmon, actually various trout. Muskellunge, I believe. It's hard to say. I mean, when I fished here, I caught a few rainbows. They stock those. But, you know, when you get a nice 40-pound fish out of this lake, you know, it's amazing. I don't know if there's catfish. That could explain some drownings. Maybe it's not a sea monster. Maybe there's a giant catfish. And it just looks, you know, you see the hump on its back when it comes up. Also could grab onto your ankle and they won't let go, and they'll sink you to the bottom and drown you and just leave you there. So could be scary tales, give or take, at one time. You know, who knows? This lake's changed over thousands and thousands of years. The glaciers carved out this canyon or basin, and then it filled with the melting waters of the Ice Age 10,000 years ago, when everything began. They called it the thaw. And this put big rocks into their place due to those glaciers and glacier activity. But anyways, I'm out of here. I'm going to hike on the Rubicon Trail. We're hiking along the edge of the Lighthouse Trail. You guys got to see one of the lighthouses. That's history, man. That is history, right on. And you know what? I mean, this is a great time. Toked one, chilling. Not out for fame. Not out for fortune. Like you know, these haters, they can talk about me all they want. But you know what? I do this because I enjoy it. So go ahead, ruin my name, throw it in the mud. But you know what? I'm out here doing this, man. I mean, this is God's country, and I don't even believe in God, but you know what? It's God's country. I mean, it's just the land of the beautiful. And so this is why I chose to live in this region, is to enjoy nature at its best. Volcanic rock, granite, different formations caused by glacier activity. Anyways, it's amazing.